Hi, welcome to the Badass Breastfeeding Podcast. This is Diane. You're like...
You know what? I was just going to say, does it sound like Diane is laughing every time the episode starts? Like, does it sound like, you know how when people are like smiling, you can tell when they're talking if they're smiling or not? And I was just like, does it sound like she's laughing or smiling? But then before I could even say it, you just like started cracking up.
I know, because I was itching my head at the same time. And then I had my hand on my chest and it felt like I was doing, you know, like that thing where people would tap their head. That's what I felt like I was doing while I was talking. So it made me laugh.
That's so good for your brain. We should all do that. Apparently it's really good for your brain. You know what else I saw? Okay, we're going to start this episode off with some fucking tangents. But what's really good for your brain, everybody listen, because this is really good for your brain and it could be good for your mom brain too. So you're literally holding your hands in front of your face and just pick some fingers. Pick like a thumb, put a thumbs up on your right side and like put your pointer finger up like you're saying number 1 on the left side. And then switch. So now you're switching your thumb to your pointer finger and your finger to your thumb. Get it?
That's not as hard, or it's harder than you think it is.
Exactly. Wait. And then you switch positions. I saw this lady on the internet doing it and she makes it look so simple, but like it really works out your brain. So that's something you can do for like mom brain or mom fog. Anyway, you're the lactation consultant, our laughing lactation consultant. And I'm Abby, the badass breastfeeder. And today's episode is brought to you by Cake Maternity. And Cake Maternity makes us so happy that we just laugh and smile. And Cake Maternity has spent over 16 years developing their range of styles, which include hands-free pumping bras, supportive nursing sports bras, lace plunge nursing bras, skin-to-skin birthing bras, comfy sleep bras, and everything in between. And we will hear more from our sponsor later, but you can head to badassbreastfeedingpodcast.com. Check out our sponsor page if you ever need anything. See if you can give them any of your business because they make this podcast possible. While you're there, scroll down and enter your email address and we will send episodes straight to your inbox every week. And we're still on Patreon and we would love to see you over there. Check the top link in the show notes under this episode, wherever you're listening from, to see if any of those tiers look good to you. And we're still hosting our ongoing giveaway. We're sending goodie bags out all the time for reviews around the internet, whether it's written reviews or stars or anything. And take a screenshot, send it to badassbreastfeedingpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll send you a goodie bag. And now Diane has our review of the week.
Yes, and this came from Castbox, which I don't really know anything about the app Castbox, but this is where this person listens to us. Mm-hmm. So thank you for leaving this for us there. I breastfed my first for 17 months and am currently nursing my second baby who is 6 months. I'm working my way through your library and usually binge 10 episodes at a time while nursing or doing housework. Thank you for keeping me company. I'm going on a 10-day solo trip to Amsterdam next month to compete in the Skydiving World Cup as part of Team USA. So I've spent several months deep in spreadsheets, calculations, and pumping to accumulate enough milk in the freezer for my baby while I'm gone. I am proud to say I hit my goal of 330 ounces last week. I'm glad to have a few weeks now to work on down-regulating my supply to cut any extra pumping, as I will be also pumping on the trip and bringing milk back with me internationally. Feeling a bit in over my head, but it's the chance of a lifetime to go, so I wish me luck. My husband is super supportive, but a lot of other people in my life just don't get why I'm working so hard to do this for my baby, saying, why don't you just wean and give formula? It would be so much easier. And they're right, it would be easier, but even though it's more work, it's more important to me and better for my baby, and I thought you would understand. Thanks again for what you do.
We do understand. And people don't understand. Like, it's hard. And especially this person who competes in skydiving world championships around the world.
She's a badass.
Which, first of all, I mean, breastfeeding or not, oh my God. That is just so cool. I almost fell off my chair when I Oh, and here's the thing. Here. I asked her for a picture, so you can go and see her on the Badass Breastfeeder Facebook or Instagram page. I'm going to put her picture up in her review and stuff, so you can go look over there. I can't. It's just so amazing. I just think it's so cool.
It is amazing.
And breastfeeding on top of it.
Yeah, and breastfeeding on top. And you see that all the time where people are like running marathons and breastfeeding and all that stuff. And it's like, people do it. People do it all the time. They still are able to keep breastfeeding when they have other things going on in their lives. And people just don't understand. They just say, and we say this all the time, like people are like, oh, just wean. Like that's
all the time.
It's like, sometimes it's just, we don't think about it as like, it's not an option. This is what we're doing. And I give her so much credit and I'm so proud of her. And that's just amazing.
Yeah. And you know what people can do when there's somebody around you doing something that you don't understand and you're like, why don't you do this? It would be easier. You know what you can do instead? You can be like, that's really awesome. It must be important for you to be putting all of this work in. How can I help?
Right. Instead of saying just wean.
What the hell? Why can't people just be like, oh, do you need some help with that? That looks hard. You can go ahead and assume that if somebody is doing something that looks hard, they're doing it because they want to.
Mm-hmm.
And like she wants to and she's doing it. And that's like where the story ends. Help.
Right. And she obviously did her homework. She figured out how much milk she was going to need. She knows how to take it back and forth internationally. She's done her homework. She knows what she's doing. And
yeah, I mean, she's sitting in calculations and spreadsheets of skydiving. Like I think she knows what she's doing.
Yeah. And so does every parent who's doing this for their baby. They know what they're doing. They know why they're doing it. And it's really important for them to keep doing it. And I don't know why people just can't be supportive. Like, just be supportive. That's all.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird.
It really is. Like, who asked for your opinion?
Right. Like, I doubt that she was like, oh, what do you think about what I'm doing?
And I'm glad she's got a supportive partner.
Yes.
I know, said nobody ever. Yeah. Today, we are going to talk about supplements because they're all over the place.
Oh my God. I know.
All over the internet.
And just primed to like catch you at this moment where you're thinking you don't have enough milk and it's not going well. And somebody told you to go get those lactation cookies, or they were like, oh, look at this stuff. Or maybe you said something about milk supply. And so then your phone starts feeding you all these like random breastfeeding supplement things.
Mm-hmm.
Because the phones are listening.
It's just creepy in and of itself. So creepy.
I know.
Why does that happen? Yeah. It's supplement, and there's a lot out there, right? There's companies that focus directly on supplements. You might have noticed that we don't ever have a sponsor from a supplement company. And there's reason for that.
You will have noticed that.
Yeah. And that's because there's not a lot of research behind supplements. And I have a really hard time backing up something that doesn't have a lot of research behind it. Because go ahead. Yeah, it's like, we want you to succeed with breastfeeding. We want you to have all the answers. We want you to have all the information that you need to be successful. And sometimes supplements just don't have that information behind it. We're not saying, oh my God, they're bad, they're horrible. There's just not a lot of science behind it.
There's not a lot of science that it works. And like, and this is a breastfeeding podcast. Maybe the only breastfeeding podcast. I don't know. Maybe I think there's like the Milk Minute or something.
There's a couple of them. Yeah,
there's a couple of them. But this one of the very few breastfeeding podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And, you have to believe and you have to know, right? You have to know that supplement companies contact us all the time. Like we could be making more money than we make. And neither Dianne or I are like sitting so pretty on a pile of money that we're just like, oh, we just don't have time for that. Like, no, we need money. We're constantly reaching out to sponsors. We are like, we need to pay our bills, and like we turn them down. Like, this is how much there is no science, what we truly feel about and know about breastfeeding supplements.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about a few of them. First of all, there's a couple that are actual medications and that will increase milk supply. One of them is called domperidone, and that is not, you can't get that in the United States. So
now, why
people
is that again?
Because of side effects. There's like an arrhythmia or something you can get with it.
Okay.
And
but you can get it in Canada, right?
You can get it in Canada, you can get it in Australia, you can get it everywhere else but here.
That's so weird.
So
because we are like not into protecting people's health. So I wonder what the real story is. I mean, come on.
I know it, but it does work. It works because what it does is it increases prolactin. So if you're somebody who has low prolactin, we need prolactin, right? To increase our milk supply, we have to have good prolactin because that's what makes our milk or one of the hormones that's involved in our milk making process. And if your prolactin levels are low, your milk supply could be low too. So if you have low milk supply and you get blood tests done and you realize, oh my gosh, I've got low prolactin, domperidone will actually increase your prolactin levels and give you more milk. But like I said, it's not something that you can get here, but you can get it in other parts of the world. So if you are in other parts of the world, you're listening and you're in other parts of the world, you might have already heard of it, or you might know it, or maybe you're taking it. The other one you can get in the United States, and it's called Reglan, but that one also has side effects to it, like mental health side effects to it. So and you're only supposed to take it for a very short period of time. I think it's like a month, but that also works.
Can you get that here?
Yeah, you can get that here. That's something you can get here, but people don't usually take it because it can cause anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't take it.
Yeah.
But it is something that's available here. And then we have lots of herbals, right? We've got lots of herbals. Lots of herbal, endless, like you said, endless. So I think the one that's the most popular is Fenugreek. Like that's what you see out there all the time. But that one you're not supposed to take it's not recommended for increasing milk supply. There's very limited, it's really not.
That's weird.
I know it.
I feel like that's the one that people take the most.
It is. It's like the most popular one, but it's the one that's what my book tells me is that it's not for people shouldn't be taking it for milk supply because it's not. I don't know if it's just that it's just you're not supposed to use it. It's not. It doesn't work.
But you're like not supposed to use it, or it's just not.
You can.
Like it's not.
You can, but it's probably not going to do anything for you.
Yeah.
And the research is really limited on fenugreek, and I think it's like if you take it very early, like in the first week, if you have a preemie baby, that like that is kind of the only research behind it where it says that it worked. It's very limited, very small studies. But it also, the other thing with fenugreek and with all of these herbals that you really have to be cautious about is that they can interact with other medications. So if you're on anything else, particularly like thyroid, or if you're diabetic or anything like that, you have to really be cautious with these herbals because they can interfere with other medications and they can kind of wreak havoc. And that's why it's not like, because they're so out there, right? They're so out there that you can just get them. And there's so many companies that create these herbal mixes and you can just buy them on the internet.
Yep.
And they boast that they're going to increase your milk supply. And they show these people on the internet, oh my gosh, I pumped 3 times as much after I started taking it. Really?
Yeah. that's not even, how would that?
It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And
Yeah.
I just don't know where these people are coming from. Like, I've been doing this for how many years? Like almost 20 years. And I have never met anybody who said that any of these herbals actually worked for them. So I would love to meet that person who took an herbal and their milk supply tripled.
Well, they're out there because that's what they say. I mean, we know there's people out there that say it, but I wonder if they truly were taking it and they saw a difference. Like, I want to know, like, what else did you do?
That's what I keep thinking.
What else happened? What else? But I mean, your milk supply tripling, like that just does not. That's not even possible. You're just not going to make like 3 times the amount of milk that you were making. Like, that's not like logical. That's not really how the body works.
Oh,
but even really if you say it increased a little bit, I want to know like what, because generally, hopefully, okay. First of all, hopefully if you're doing this, you're doing it under the supervision of a lactation consultant.
Mm-hmm.
Although probably not. You should, but that's probably not what most people are doing.
Right.
And second of all, it's usually not like the only thing that people are doing. I mean, maybe they're like, oh, I'm going to have some of this lactation tea. And then they're like, oh yeah, my milk supply totally. Is there like, I mean, like the placebo effect is real. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember there was one lactation consultant that I used to work with. She was hilarious. Somebody said something about drinking lactation tea, and she was like, yeah, if you drink like a gallon of it, maybe, because it's like, it's tea. How much is there really going to be in that tea?
Right. And is there anything in that tea that's actually linked, or there's actually science behind it actually working?
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
It's a lot of this is like placebo, and placebo is very, like you said, it's very strong. But a lot of these companies, they really do tout the fact that like, this is going to work for you. And maybe it does, but you have to also wonder, like, what about the other things? Are you doing other things? Are you pumping? Did you change the way you're nursing your baby? Did you change the way you're pumping? Did you increase feeds? Like, what happened? You're not just sitting there on the couch taking these herbals and all of a sudden you're just flowing milk all over the place. Like, something actually, what else did you do? Mm-hmm. And was that really what caused that increase in milk supply?
Yeah. Let's take a break and then we'll come back and talk more.
Yeah, I want to talk about that study too.
Yeah. Today's episode is brought to you by Cake Maternity. Cake Maternity is a designer of comfortable, functional, and beautiful nursing and pumping bras. As mothers themselves, they understand that no 2 breastfeeding journeys are alike. They've spent over 16 years developing their range of styles, which include hands-free pumping bras, supportive nursing sports bras, and lace plunge nursing bras, skin-to-skin birthing bras, comfy sleep bras, and all the bras in between. They also understand the changes our bodies go through during pregnancy and breastfeeding, which is why they cater 28 to 44 band sizes and A through L cup sizes. So regardless of your size, your style, or whether you're breastfeeding, pumping, or both, Cake Maternity have done the hard work so you can focus on what's important, nourishing your baby. Shop their full range of maternity and nursing bras, clothing, and accessories online at cakematernity.com. That's cake, like birthday cake, cakematernity.com, and use code BADASS for 15% off of your purchase. And you can find the direct link and the promo code in the show notes under this episode, wherever you're listening from. You can also head to badassbreastfeedingpodcast.com, check out our sponsor page. You can check out all of our other resources and all of our other episodes, and also schedule your very own one-on-one online lactation consultation with Dianne, who will help you figure out these breastfeeding supplements. Do it.
Yes.
Contact her before you take anything.
Yes, definitely contact me before you take anything. So we're not telling you like don't ever touch them, because a lot of times, like if I see a family and the mom says, yes, I'm taking this supplement, I can't even think of the name of some of them, but like taking the supplement. So, okay. I'm like, I always ask, do you feel like it's helping? And they always say, not really. And I say, well, it's up to you. You're probably not hurting anything. If you want to continue to take it, that's totally up to you. But some of them do have side effects to them, like stomach, like gastro, kind of like might make your stomach not feel very good, or it might cause more gassing. And just like some of them just have some little side effects that go along with them. So sometimes parents are like, I don't really feel like taking it still, because it's just one more thing to remember to do too.
Yeah.
So it really is up to you, but I think you should definitely talk to somebody before you start taking them. Now, Abby sent me this study about Moringa. Now, Moringa is one that's coming up more in popularity. I hear it a little bit more now than I used to hear Fenugreek. Like Fenugreek used to be the one that you heard all the time. Now I'm hearing more Moringa. And so Abby sent me this research article about Moringa, and it's pretty promising. Like the studies. So the study that Abby sent me was a study of like a whole bunch of other studies. So they didn't do their own study.
It's got a name. It's like a study of studies.
Yeah.
It's got a name in research, and I can't. Grad school was too long ago. I don't remember.
I know. I can't remember what the name of it is, but it is, they looked at a whole bunch of other studies, and they admitted that some of them were flawed, but it was kind of promising that all of the studies that they looked at showed a increase in milk supply when mothers took Moringa. And these were mothers who had no problem, like they didn't have any medical issues, and the baby was fine, and like all this stuff. It wasn't like preemie babies and mothers who were sick or anything. So they really were, their milk supply increased, and babies gained more weight when they took it. They did say, though, which I thought was really important, is that there was no real set dosage.
Yeah.
And that's one of the other things with it. Like, you don't know what the dosages are with these. They're kind of a guess. There's no that's one of the problems with taking these they're not medications, taking these herbals, these supplements, because when you look at the bottle and it says, okay, take this much, like somebody's guessing there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no real research behind it. So you're just kind of like, and in this study, it was like between 250 to 1,000 was like what their dosages were.
Yeah.
That's a pretty vast
It's a
number.
wide range. Yeah.
It's a pretty wide range. Yeah. So how do you know how much to take, and what really did help them? Like, how much was it that really helped them? And was it different for everybody? Like, that's the other thing too. Like, is it different for everybody? Does everybody have different amounts that their body is going to accept? The other thing with herbals is you don't know, like, they're not regulated. So you don't really know like how much is actually in them.
Right.
And is each bottle the same?
Mm-hmm.
So it really is, it's really kind of, you're taking your chances because you don't really know. And what if you use you take a bottle and you feel like it helped you, and then you get another bottle and it didn't help you because that bottle's different than the first bottle you got. Like, you just don't know. Which is why we say like there's not a lot of research behind it, and which is why we kind of don't back it, because there's just the science just is not there. This study that Abby sent me, that was probably one of the better studies that I've seen with a herbal. But
yeah,
even that one was like, it's flawed.
Yeah.
And there's still a lot of work that needs to be done in this area.
Yeah. And I think Moringa is pretty popular, I think, for breastfeeding supplement in like Asian countries, I want to say. I know that there is a country, maybe where there's a lot of those trees. Doesn't it come from like a certain kind of flower on a tree or something?
Yeah, it sounded like an amazing supplement. Just it's chock full of like vitamins and nutrients and all of this stuff. It sounds like something that could be really good for you.
Yeah. So, but I think like in a lot of the wherever people are more, it's more popular to take this. You're really relying on community elders or whatever who are like, well, this is what worked for me, and there's just not that science there, like we've been saying the whole time.
Yeah, it's very anecdotal.
Yeah.
Very anecdotal, which is why we don't. And then you've got things like lactation cookies, lactation brownies. What else are there? Lactation bars.
There's lactation everything now, I feel like.
Yeah, you can like
any kind of food.
Yeah,
there's a whole aisle at Target of all this stuff. I feel like it's just like you could put it in anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I want a pot brownie. Well, you can also have a pot piece of cake or some pot tea. Like you can just put it in whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the early days of that shit in Amsterdam where we had to eat, like, if you wanted a pot brownie, well, you had to take this like hard ass vanilla piece of cake and like choke it down. Anyway. So in the lactation world has come a long way as well. You can get like really tasty cookies and brownies and all of this yummy stuff. And by all means, you can eat it. It's fun. Eating is fun. Mm-hmm. And eating will help. Eating will help you feel better. Eating will make you, your body work better. But it's really, there's no evidence to show that any of it actually increases milk supply.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're doing that, you should be doing other things. Like if it truly is a milk supply problem, that's the other thing. That is the other thing. Like, is it truly a milk supply problem?
Yeah. Is that even, because it's not going to help if you don't have a milk supply issue, then, because that's also, it's like we mistake that a lot, right? Like,
yeah,
people are like, one of the most common mistakes is thinking that you have a milk supply problem.
Yeah. And if you don't, I mean, it could be a problem. Like if the baby's not transferring milk well, or you just don't realize what a good milk supply is. Like we see that all the time where people are like, I only pumped 5 ounces today.
Right.
Like it really is. You have to truly have a milk supply problem. Like if you really have a milk supply problem, that's one thing that we need to look at. And we need to look at, why do you have a milk supply problem? Like, is there a reason for it? But when you're on these like mom groups and you're like, and you're up in the middle of the night and you're like, I think I have a milk supply problem. Baby's fussy. Could they not be getting enough milk? Do I have a milk supply problem? And somebody says, oh, that's what I thought. Here, take this herbal. This is what I did. And my supply tripled. Well, of course you're going to do it, right? Like, of course you're going to do it. But it very well could be that you don't even have a milk supply problem, which is why it's really important to talk to somebody about this stuff before you start it, because it could be you're just going to waste a lot of money buying herbals that.
Right. And this is like, this is where people will be like, well, I don't want to spend the money to see a lactation consultant. Okay.
Right.
Well, you just spent like 4 times the amount of money on all of the nonsense trying to figure out what was going on. Right. And, now you've bought this expensive bottle of like herbal supplements, and like it might not even be the issue.
Yeah.
Like, just pay for a lactation consultant. Just do that. And then you don't have to pay for anything else. Like, a lactation consultant is very rarely going to be like, oh yeah, you should go out and buy this. because it's going to mostly like, I'm not a lactation consultant, correct me if I'm wrong. Most of it is like tweaking the way you're breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Right? Like working on the actual breastfeeding, which is not like go out and buy this supplement.
Right. Absolutely.
So I don't know. Yeah.
I have heard of like breastfeeding doctors. Sometimes they will, like, if there is true, like they've done blood work and they see that there is a prolactin issue, they might recommend some of these herbals, because I think like Moringa does increase prolactin. But you really need to have all this. You need to go deep and really dig. And it's not just one of these things where you could be like, oh, I saw it on a Reddit thread that I should just take this, Plus, like I said, it can interfere with other medications. And I've had that happen to families before where, because things like a lot of these medications will interfere, Fenugreek especially, but a lot of them will interfere with the absorption of thyroid medications.
Oh, dear.
So I know. And if your thyroid medication isn't working, then you're really going to have a milk supply issue, because thyroid helps to balance out your milk supply. So you really want to make sure that you are not taking something that is going to hurt something else that is really going to cause you a milk supply issue. So you have to really be cautious about what you're doing. And you can't just go by what somebody else is saying that worked for them, because you don't know what their situation is. So we want you to be safe, and we want you to, see. And if you feel like it's working for you, if you're like, oh my gosh, this is really working, great. But it's not as common that you see that.
Yeah.
Especially with things like the cookies and the, people ask me that too all the time. Does those cookies really work? And I'm like, no. Because again, how much are you really getting from it? Like, how much is really in there?
Right.
Do you have to eat a whole box of cookies?
Well, right.
I mean,
and is there a magic number? Like, if at some point you eat enough, does it increase milk supply? But why would it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's
what, like, we used to go to those, we used to go to MommyCon and stuff. And a very popular item of food there would be like companies handing out their lactation cookies. And my kids are like, can I eat this? Is it going to give me... Josh wouldn't even eat it. I'm like, dude, it's a fucking cookie. Like, it's literally not going to do anything for anybody in this room. Just eat it.
Not one cookie. No. Come on. I mean, they're fun. If you want to make them, I've had families be like, oh, my mom came over, we made lactation cookies. And
totally.
Whatever.
Do it. Yeah. I used to drink the lactation tea just because I don't even know why. I probably got it sent to me or something. And I just drank it, and it's good. It's got like that real kind of earthy flavor if you're into that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's good. You're getting hydrated. If it's something that helps you, because listen, also, the way that you think plays a big role in breastfeeding. If you think like, yeah, this is really supporting, my milk supply, and this is, this helps me stay hydrated. It helps me feel better. Like, I feel like the way you think and feel is like, I mean, that's really like most of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, just kind of, but think about it. Like, we don't want you to, we want you to have the information that is evidence-based and backed by science.
Yeah.
That's what we want you to have. And there is not a lot of science behind the herbals. That's all we're saying. There's just not a lot of science behind it. And we wish, that we could say, oh, this is definitely going to work for you. You're going to triple your milk supply if you take this supplement. But that's just not how it is.
Yeah.
We want you to have the right information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.